Good morning. This week's devotion is Theological Candy. I've been thinking about all of the trappings of the Christmas season. Last week in my sermon, I asked why we use them. Are they to help us remember the reason for the season, for God coming down in Jesus? Or are they just secular traditions born out of our consumer culture? So I thought that we could look at the candy cane as a symbol this morning. I found a lot of historical information on the website thoughtco.com. In the beginning of the 17th century, people began to decorate Christmas trees. The original decorations were treats, such as cookies or sugar stick candy. In 1670, the choirmaster at the Cologne Cathedral in Germany bent sugar sticks into the shape of a shepherd's staff. He gave them to the children during the Nativity service, not only to remind them of the coming of our Good Shepherd, but to keep them happy and quiet during the long services. The first written account of candy canes in the U.S. was 1847. The German immigrant August Imgard decorated with them in his home in Ohio. Around 1900, the red stripe began to appear, and they began to flavor them with peppermint and wintergreen. So how do candy canes help us remember the reason for the season? We've already mentioned the German choir director that shaped them like a shepherd's crook to remind children of Jesus. Through the years, other meanings have been assigned to them as well. If you turn it over, it becomes a J to stand for Jesus. The color white represents purity, and it is the theological color of the Christmas season. The red represents the blood that Jesus would shed for us. Many candy canes still actually have 3 red stripes to represent the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Some other people say that the hard candy of a candy cane represents Jesus as the solid rock on which the church was founded. They even say that the mint flavoring is similar to the fragrance of hyssop, a herb used in the worship in the Old Testament. To close, I'm going to quote Matthew 2:3-6. I know it's a little early to jump to the visit of the wise men, but it quotes the prophets about Jesus' birth and this symbolism of the candy cane well. Listen to Matthew 2:3-6. When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him, and calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet, "And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people, Israel." You go through your holiday traditions and routines. I encourage you to look for the symbolism that is behind them, and remember that Jesus is still the reason for the season. Have a blessed week, a happy Advent, and a Merry Christmas.